So Nearby Lucas, what are we talking about today?
A man who just punches with explosions.
Oh yeah. So Nearby Lucas, as you often do, that's like the lovely audience at home. Now, what the specific topic of today's Wiki Weekend is?
Yeah, I can, but I forgot his first name. But we're talking about Bakugo.
Okay, it's Katsuki.
Katsuki. Okay.
And if we're pronouncing all these things wrong, please direct any complaints to my balls. This happens every time we do anything with anime, anything Japanese. Someone's like, "You're pronouncing that wrong." I'm sorry, it's a language I don't speak. You'd think people would get that, wouldn't you?
You would assume so, but Carl, the power of weeb.
The power of weebs, yes. Speaking of weebs, we're talking about, I think it's one of the top 3 most popular characters in My Hero Academia.
All right.
We're hopefully not going to get any spoilers here, just going to talk about, just his character and his powers. But maybe if you're not fully caught up on the show or haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really good.
It is really good, but the only potential spoilers we're probably going to get in this, and we can cut them as well, would be like a new power, yeah.
Yeah, and I think My Hero Academia is one of the things I got recommended by you for many, many, many months. One day my girl's like, well, I'm just going to watch this show, do you mind? It's like, okay, sure. And she put on like the first season, I was like, do you know that thing where you're making a cup of tea and you just go, so what's happening? She goes, do you want to watch it? No, I'm going to do work. So who's that? He's like, do you want to watch it? Yeah, I want to watch it. So anyway, Katsuki Bakugo, also known as Katchan, by his childhood friends, and his hero name, do you remember his hero name?
Is it like just Murder Explosion Man or something?
Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. That is a name. When that guy's coming up to help you, you're like, yeah. I feel safe knowing Explosion God Murder Dynamite's coming down. He's a student in Class 1A at UA High School, trained to become a pro hero. He's the deuteragonist of the series, and I love that word.
Does that mean kind of like secondary protagonist?
Yeah, with equal billing, basically. And we have here, then Quirk, it just says Explosion. And should we talk about the quirks? People maybe they don't know. It's one of the things that got me hooked on the show, because I adore creative use of superpowers, and this show is just all that.
Yeah.
Where his quirk is just explosion, but he uses it in such interesting ways.
Yeah.
Every character on the show who is good utilizes their, at first, sometimes seemingly limited powers to do amazing things.
Well, Lemillion.
I was about to say Lemillion. Power!
Just his power is ostensibly getting stuck in a wall and could die from it. And then he's like, but if you utilize it the right way, you can become naked, slide underground, and come up behind your opponents and win.
You can become the ultimate warrior by sliding through reality, butt-ass naked, and uppercutting people while screaming, power!
Oh, I think another really, no, maybe not inventive, but useful use of somebody's power that seemed a bit crappy was the Mushroom Girl.
Oh yeah. So do you want to explain her quirk?
Yeah, so her quirk was just like mushroom, which she just spawns mushrooms wherever she wants.
See, that doesn't sound very good, but she can spawn mushrooms anywhere it's moist.
And she then spawns mushrooms inside somebody's lungs.
It's
like choke him out.
可愛くないから封じてたけど負けそうなのにやらないのもダメキノコだもん
That is horrifying. That was so rough when I saw that. One of the things I like about the show is, no one's power is useless. Never line from the main character's mom. Well, they ask her, so what's your power? Oh, I can just move things with my mind. Just little things. It's like, well, then you see later in the show, people who had seemingly useless powers, when they train them, are fucking godlike. Yeah. So, if you can move a small object with your mind, you can move a knife. And she never says how fast she can move it, which means she could realistically, if she trained, she could Jedi that shit and have a knife flying around her fast, super fast. She could be, effectively, who's the guy? The guy from MCU with the whistle. The whistle needle.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name.
Yondu.
Yondu. She could be Yondu.
She could be.
We don't know, because I can move small objects. That's all he can do. And look how fucking good he is. So Lucas, you'll just move straight on to powers and abilities.
Yes.
So abilities. Overall abilities. So Bakugo has proven to be one of the strongest students in Class 1A, earning 3rd place in the Quirk Apprehension Test while placing 1st in both the entrance exam and having the most villain points. His fighting style is all-out offense.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That man is offense to the core.
He is.
Using his quirk's propulsive abilities to close the distance between him and his opponents, followed up by a bombardment of close-range attacks that often start with a powerful right hook. Just a right hook by a man whose fists explode, that's rough. Enhanced strength. Bakugo possesses high-caliber physical strength, confirmed by his ability to use his grenade bracers without sustaining the effects of And I love how shit his outfit looks. That's an outfit designed by a teenager.
I do like, for once though, it's not black and red. It's black and orange.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
Slightly less edgy.
He's also strong enough to casually pick up and throw people of Deku's size a considerable distance with one arm. Enhanced reflexes. His greatest physical trait is his fantastic reflex and reaction. Well, you've got to be if your fists are constantly exploding, haven't you? He's shown on several occasions at overwhelming his foes with speed or completely evading all of their attacks and striking back. His superb reflex allows him to evade a jet of carbonated water, strong enough to cleave a street lamp in two. Typically, jets of water that can cut through metal travel at 1,700 miles per hour, twice the speed of sound. That's the thing as well, someone like controls like carbonated water specifically. That's what I like about that. Their powers, they don't control water, they control carbonated water. And then we have quirk. So Lucas, what's your understanding of how his quirk works before we go into it?
So I believe he creates like explosive resin in his sweat.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about this show. It's not just that he causes explosions, they actually go out of the way to explain it. And that by explaining it in this way, they can give it a weakness. And the weakness is, like, makes sense, because you can't keep sweating.
Well, and as well, it's moments where, for example, I think he gets cooled down, doesn't he?
Yeah,
to stop him sweating when he fights Todoroki. His
quirk allows him to secrete a nitroglycerin-like sweat from the palms of his hand and ignite it on command, allowing to create strong explosions. The more he sweats, the stronger his explosion becomes. If he overuses this power, his forearms will start to ache. You think just exploding shit would cause your forearms to ache?
Yeah, that's true.
I've just realised something. Do you think the reason he always yells is because he's got hearing damage? I've just thought of that just now. Because we talked before we started recording this episode, I hate the fact his character yells every line. But I just realised he's constantly surrounded by explosions. Maybe that's why he's always yelling. Because he's got hearing loss.
I don't know if that's canon or not.
It has to be. So he's got a strong grasp of the application of his quirk, something that was acknowledged by Best Genist, a top pro hero. I love how his power is just genes. He can use it to propel himself and navigate through the air at high speeds, and to fly at his opponents without giving them time to react, as well as avoid incoming attacks even while in the air. The shockwave can even be used as a shield, and that's the thing, like, his power on paper sounds really silly, but he uses it so creatively.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, quite a lot of characters in the show use their powers in really creative and inventive ways, and that's one of the really cool things about the show.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, he'll have an explosion come from his hand. It's like, no, he'll use those explosions to like turn himself into a tornado bullet and spit himself right at you.
It's like the episode where All Might jumps into the air. It's like, All Might can't fly, so how's he going to do this? He goes, boom! Just propels, he just launches himself at someone. You think, oh, are you going to get out of this one, knobhead? You can't fly. He's like, well, I can do this. And then they have here just a rating, and his power is maximum. I need to know what is Lemillion's rating, because his power's got to be maximum.
Oh, God.
Oh, and then Lucas. Would you like to end on some trivia?
Let's go for it.
Okay, so trivia. Originally, he was a very kind and gentle character who spoke without thinking, unintentionally insulted others. However, the original draft was found to be boring, and they decided that while keeping him a natural-born genius, to make him an unpleasant character instead. His surname contains the kanji for bomb and powerful, and his first name contains to win and self, meaning that his name translates to myself will win because Bob is powerful. That's it.